Question number 49 on the reading portion of College Board's Test 5. According to the passage, when compared to mental athletes, the individuals in the control group in McGuire's second study. Okay, so according to the passage, when compared to when we're comparing against mental athletes, the individuals in the control group, remember the control group were just regular people. They were just regular people, and they were asked to memorize numbers, images, things like that. And then their brains were being monitored all the while. The individuals in the control group in McGuire's second study showed less brain activity overall. That's not true. We don't know that they showed less brain activity. We just show that they had different brain activity. Not once in this piece does it say, and the people who were in the control group had less brain activity. It says there was just one telling difference if we go to line 57. There was one telling difference. So there wasn't like, and they said the difference was that they were activating entirely different circuitry. It doesn't say that they were using less or more brain power. So I'm not liking that. Less, that one word makes it wrong. What about B? Demonstrated a wider range of cognitive ability. That's not true. Because if we find out, I think at the end it said, if we take a look at line 52, what's more, on every single test of general cognitive ability, mental athlete score came back well within the normal range. The memory champs were not smarter. They did not have special brains. Let's take a look at C. According to the passage, when compared to mental athletes, the individuals in the control group in McGuire's second study exhibited different patterns of brain activity. Yes, that is true. C is going to be true because control group, they had different patterns of brain activity. If we look at the this paragraph, line 57, according to, this is line 62, according to the functional MRI, regions of the brain that were less active in the control subjects seemed to be working in overdrive for the mental athletes. So there were certain parts of the control subjects' brains that were working, and the mental athletes' brains, they were not. So that means that compared to the mental athletes, the control group exhibited different patterns of brain activity. That is true, because they said that in the piece. They said that regions of the brain that were less active than control subjects seemed to be working in overdrive. They were different. So I'm really liking C. What about D? According to the passage, when compared to mental athletes, the individuals in the control group in McGuire's second study displayed noticeably smaller hippocampal regions. That's not true. There was no physical difference between the two. Unlike the taxi cab drivers that we said before, where their hippocampal regions were larger, we can't say that was true in the case of the memory athletes because there was no physical difference. The only difference was the regions of the brain that were active during memorization. There were no physical differences. The answer can't be D. That's a good inference if you only read the first paragraph. If you only read the first paragraph, you can talk about how when someone practices something, their brain gets bigger. You might think, oh, okay, so the control group who aren't good at memorizing stuff, their brain is smaller. It's deficient. Not true. The answer number 49 is going to be C.